Hi, I'm Monty Proctor, and today I will be discussing Michael Jackson's Thriller album. Thriller is Michael Jackson's sixth studio album, which was released in 1982. It was the follow up to 1979's Off the Wall. It contains 9 songs, 4 of which Michael Jackson wrote himself. It's 7 of those 9 songs actually became singles, and those singles were "The Girl Is Mine," which featured Paul McCartney. Um, the next single was "Billie Jean." Then it was "Beat It" and "Human Nature." "PYT," "Pretty Young Thing," which Janet and Latoya actually sung the girls' part on that song. Um, and also Thriller. Thriller is one of those albums that is a classic to say the least. I mean, it's the biggest selling album of all time. What made it such a huge success is the impact that it had on pop culture. I mean, musically, because it just embodied so many genres of music, such as pop, R&B, rock, disco, funk, and so many other contemporary stylings of music. It just contained such a plethora of music that everyone who listened to it found something in it for them. You know, whether it was the message, the song selection was actually fantastic on this album. You know, whether it was the message of the song or whether it was actually just the instrumentation of the song. I think everyone found something that they could relate to on that album. It also transformed pop culture and made such a big impact because it revolutionized music videos. 3 of the 9 songs on this album were made into music videos, and this was when music videos were just getting started, and nobody had seen anything like Billie Jean, where he's walking down the street, and as he's walking, the squares on the sidewalk light up. And Michael Jackson really utilized special effects. The billboard was changing as he was performing the song. He disappeared a couple times in the music video. Um, "Beat It" was one of the first music videos where there was group choreography, and that just really revolutionized everything. It just made a signature dance segment that many people of that era memorized and mimicked at that time. And last but not least, Thriller. Thriller, the title track of the album, was like a short film, a mini movie. At the time, it was the most expensive music video ever made, and it definitely revolutionized the music video as an art form, because it wasn't just an artist performing the song, it was actually a storyline to the song. It was the storyline of the song brought to life on film. There was just really so many elements that made Thriller what it was. It featured one of the Beatles, Paul McCartney, on "The Girl Is Mine." Michael Jackson had the best musicians in the world playing his music. He had one of the best engineers in the world, Bruce Swedien. He was Michael Jackson himself was one of the top vocalists in the world at the time. Also, Quincy Jones was one of the top producers in the world at that time. So there were just so many things that made Thriller what it was. My impression of Thriller, because Thriller was actually the first album that I owned, and my impression of Thriller was just me being engulfed, like just being hooked from the first time I heard it. And had it on a cassette tape, and I would walk around with it in my Walkman, and I just learned it and just studied it intensely, like sonically and lyrically, and even watching Michael Jackson's music videos, and just really just learning everything that I could learn. This album encourages me as an artist to just step outside the box, because there are so many stories that surround Thriller, like Thriller being called Starlight, but then Michael Jackson taking it and calling it Thriller and making it into like a scary type thing. It just encourages me as an artist to just be free in my creativity, and just to put forth my best effort in everything that I do. I hope you enjoyed this podcast on Thriller, and I hope it's been really informational. Thank you.